CD's Game 4 in St. Louis, but in Boston it is all about the Red Sox. From the State House building in Boston, where even Republicans and Democrats can agree on one thing: go Sox. At Faneuil Hall, Red Sox fans are gathering in the hopes that 86 years of frustration are washed away in a single evening. All that needs to happen is a Red Sox victory. And as we look at Fenway Park, the stadium is closed, but the taverns are filling up in anticipation of a night many Red Sox fans have never experienced: a Boston Red Sox World Championship. But the New England faithful call themselves Red Sox Nation, and if you don't believe it's true, here's proof, beginning with former Red Sox Steve Lyons.
All right, Jeannie, of course you know the Red Sox Nation extends far beyond Boston. In fact, all the way across the nation. I'm at Sonny McLean's right here in the heart of Los Angeles, California. And these fans have been packing this bar for 3 straight weeks now, hoping to taste a little piece of history. They've been waiting for that history for 86 years. Now, we're going to send it way back east, where Kenny Albert's standing in a place that Red Sox president Larry Lucchino once called the Evil Empire. Kenny?
Well, Steve, it may be hard to believe, but the Riviera Cafe is the official Red Sox watering hole in, of all places, New York City. It was just a week ago that the fans got to see their beloved Red Sox eliminate the hated Yankees. Now, Jeannie, what better place to exercise the curse of the Bambino and end 86 years of frustration for these fans than right here in the heart of New York City?
Oh, boy. Of course, this frustration crosses more than state lines. It spans the globe. Good morning, Baghdad. You watch, we salute you, members of the multinational force Iraq and all units around the international zone. We thank you. An international affair for sure, but all eyes right here as we surf the sea of red. The hunt for Red Sox October has never been closer. Of course, they battle history as well as the Cardinals as we welcome all of you to Game 4 of the World Series on Fox. As always, I am joined by my partner, Mr. Kevin Kennedy. I am Jeannie Zalasko, and you could be seeing some history tonight. 86 years in search of a championship. Can we say that enough? The wait could be over.
We've said it now. It could be over, but not up till La Russa and these fans have something to say about it. Nobody wants to have more energy than these fans tonight, because last night they were knocked out of the game early. This ball club is resilient as well, and Tony La Russa is going to take a page out of the Red Sox book, where they came back after being down 3 games to none. They won 4 straight. That has never been done in the history of the game. La Russa's ball club would like to repeat that tonight. Let's go back to how the Red Sox got to the luck of the Irish. Who knows? Millar gets the walk in Game 4 of the LCS. Dave Roberts pitched run, steals a base. Bill Miller ties it. Okay, that gets them another game. They go on to Game 5. Tony Clark, it looks like it's done here. They're over in Game 5. No, a ground rule double. Sierra can't score that short wall at the Brown the Pesky pole in Fenway. How about Belwer? All right, in New York, a 3-run home run. He hadn't done much until this point. Well, they ruled it a ground rule double. The umpires got it right. It turned into a home run. Yankees normally get these kind of calls, don't they? Not the Red Sox. How about this call? A-Rod slapping the ball out of the hand of Arroyo. They call it safe at second base. No, they reverse it. That call was called right by the umpires once again. And how about the cutoff man? Bill Miller reaching for it, trying to double out Pujols. Manny Ramirez misses the cutoff man, only to throw out and double out Larry Walker. And this is the turning point I'm talking about right here. Jeff Suppan. Go or no, go or no. He goes back to third base, second and third. Nobody out, ground ball to the right side. That would have tied the score. It didn't happen for him.
All right, you are not done, because we got to break down tonight's pitchers.
Derek Lowe got it done against the Yankees with sinkers and sliders and got the Yankees to expand the zone. Chase bad pitches out of the zone. That's not what the Cardinals have to do tonight. They have to make him come to him. Jason Marquis has to do this, throw strikes. Strike 1, strike 2. He's got a good fastball, 94, 95, pretty good change. They got to minimize those walks, though. That's what he's done too much of in the postseason. Look at the pitchers in this series of starters. The Red Sox, 16-plus innings, ERA 2.7. The Cardinals, 11-plus innings, ERA pushing 12. That's been the biggest difference for me. The starting pitching of the Cardinals has not gotten deeper as an average than 3-plus innings. Marquis has to go deeper tonight. They set up that Cardinal bullpen. They only have one lefty in that bullpen, and that's Ray King. That's a guy you got to pick to face David Ortiz.
Absolutely.
You can't use him too early. If they do, it's all over. So the starters have to get deeper so it counts when they bring in Great King to face David Ortiz.
All right, we talked about Jason Markey being on the big stage. This is not the first time he's been on the big stage. He did play in a Little League World Series, just like another man out here tonight, Jason Varitek.
Jason Varitek, shortstop.
Shortstop.
It's a good thing they moved him. Can't pick on a little kid, but the defense wasn't there yet.
I'm hitting right-handed right there. Hey, this is a tough play right here. Well, no, he couldn't get out of the glove. I'll tell you what. The heart and soul of this ball club. Look at that face right there of Jason Varitek. Put that guy behind the plate. He's tough. He's nails behind there. He's been really, for me, their MVP all season long because of what he does, not offensively. We know he can swing the bat. It's his defense. It's the way he works the pitchers in and out. Blocks the plate as well as anybody in the game and blocks balls as well as anybody in the game. This guy, to me, is a heart and soul, a free agent. You can't let this guy get away. He's nails behind the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. History, of course, seems lost on all of these Red Sox. They just seem to worry about whether or not they're having a good hair night. Idiots? Well, I don't know that you can necessarily call them that. So does yours, Kevin. Ignorance remains bliss around the water cooler.
Hey, man, what's up?
Hey, dude, what's up, man? What'd you do last night?
You know, same old, same old.
Dang, the Patriots won 20 in a row.
Again? Wow, that's pretty amazing. And how about Steve Spurrier getting interviewed for the Florida Gators?
I saw that, man. That was unbelievable. What are you doing tonight?
You know, something to come up, you know. How about you?
Probably same old thing. Why don't you give me a call tonight, man?
I can do that.
We can hang out or something.
Yeah, obviously they found something to do tonight. I think what's interesting, Mr. Damon here said when he joined this club, he went into the clubhouse, nobody was playing cards, nobody was playing video games, everybody was doing their own thing. Somehow this club has come together real loose and it's working for them.
We talked about the luck of the Irish and the Boston Red Sox. Really, I believe you got to have talent. You make your own breaks, and that's what this Red Sox club has done. There's no gimmies on this ball club. They have forced the issue. They have put it to the test of the New York Yankees. They forced them to make those guys walk Millar in the ninth inning when they could have finished it off. Why? Because Millar can take you deep. Varitek can take you deep. Damon can take you deep. Forget about Manny Ramirez and Ortiz. You got other guys to worry about as well. How about Bellhorn, the series he's had?
All right, we need to get you going out to the ball game. It's going to be a good one. Until this October, it was considered almost impossible for any team to recover from an 0-3 deficit. That is until the Red Sox came along. Now the Cardinals will have to draw from their rivals for inspiration. Unbelievable. 1 week ago, they were 3 outs away from getting swept. Now they are on the brink of 86ing the curse and claiming baseball's ultimate prize. Oh, what a century it has been.
I'm 15 for a moment, caught in between 10 and 20, and I'm just dreaming, counting the ways to where you are. I'm 45 for a moment, the sea is high, and I'm heading to walk crosses, chasing the years of my life. Got 100 years to live. Half time goes by, suddenly you're wise. Another blink of an eye, 67 is gone. The sun is getting hot. We're moving on. I'm 99 for a moment. I'm dying for just another moment, and I'm just dreaming, counting the ways to where you are. 15, there's still time for you. 22, I feel hurt to go. 33, you're on your way. Every day's a new day.
to the Dodge pregame show on Fox. History may or may not be in your immediate future, but we know this. The U-Man is. To introduce tonight's national anthem, here's public address announcer John Hewlett.
Please stand and remove your caps for our national anthem. Following the anthem, please direct your attention to the sky, where two Navy FA-18s from Fighter Composite Squadron 12 will be performing a flyover. Performing tonight's anthem. She's been a St. Louis Cardinals fan her entire life, and now one of country music's Gretchen Wilson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free in the home of the
On October 17th, this self-proclaimed team of idiots were facing elimination in the ALCS for the second year in a row to their biggest nemesis, the New York Yankees. But in the span of 4 days, they overcame a 3-0 deficit to win, something no other team had done in the history of Major League Baseball. And now, one win away, they rest on the cusp of winning something that has eluded this franchise since 1918.
Well, what's it going to be tonight? We welcome you to Busch Stadium, where Cardinal fans are filing in wondering if this season will continue for at least one more day, or if they'll watch the Boston Red Sox celebrate here tonight. It's Game 4 of this 2004 Red Sox, one win away from trying to do something that the franchise hasn't accomplished in 86 years, and that is win a World Series. And to this point, for the first 3 games of this World Series, they have out-hit, they have out-pitched, and they have run the bases better than the St. Louis Cardinals. And Tim McCarver, I welcome you in, and I'll say this. The Red Sox have been given nothing in this series. They have taken the first 3 games.
They have been relentless. They just have not let the Cardinals get started. They've scored in the first inning of every game. The St. Louis Cardinals haven't even been ahead in any of the 3 games, and the best way for them to get ahead is to get any production, not more production, but any production out of the middle 3 spots. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters have 1 hit in the 3 games. That was a bunt base hit by Jim Edmonds in Game 1.
The Boston Red Sox have won 7 consecutive postseason games. The fans here in St. Louis hope that tonight is not the night the World Series comes to a close.
Hey, don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head you feel left out. Look down on. Just do your best. Do everything you can. It just takes some time to live.
St. Louis, 61 degrees and about 10 times better weather-wise than we had here last night for Game 3. Still with us, Chris Myers.
Joe, down on the field, you can feel the vibe of the fan from Middle America all the way back to New England. For the Cardinal rooters, they're hoping for a reversal of fortune. For the Red Sox fans, many of whom have traveled here to St. Louis, well, they're still kind of numb. They're not sure how to act. Their team this close to finally winning it all, to finally winning a World Series. The fans like the Red Sox team. They're confident, but they're also cautious given their history. And this, tonight, a total lunar eclipse for the first time during a World Series game. So it would appear, Joe, for the Red Sox, the planets are aligned.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. And Jason Marquis is the man in the middle of all this action. He has not been good this postseason. Here's tonight's starting lineup for the Red Sox, brought to you by Citibank. If you were paying attention last night, you'll know it is the same. Johnny Damon leads off, then it's Cabrera batting second. Manny Ramirez, how hot is he, hitting third? David Ortiz at first, put on a show in BP. Veritek, Miller, Nixon, Bellhorn, and Derek Lowe tonight won the clincher, Game 7 of the ALCS at Yankee Stadium, taking on Jason Marquis tonight.
And if both pitchers have their stuff tonight, they'll throw a lot of ground balls. Two of the top 5 ground ball pitchers in Major League Baseball are opposing one another this evening.
Johnny Damon first up for Boston. Damon, Cabrera, and Manny Ramirez. You see the 94 miles per hour, and Tim, one of the things that Marquis has to guard against is getting too charged up. He's a sinker ball pitcher. He's got a very good fastball, but trying to throw the ball through the wall is something that works against him.
After the first fastball that was down in the strike zone, 2 fastballs up. You don't get ground balls on high fastballs.
2 balls and a strike on Johnny Damon. And that ball is ripped into right field. Walker is back at the wall. The Red Sox score first again. What a start. 1-0 Boston here in Game 4. Damon gets his first home run of this World Series.
The one thing about ground balls, they don't go out of the ballpark. A high fastball jumped on by Damon to give the Red Sox the lead.
Cabrera, a swinging bunt, third base side. Roland makes a barehanded play for the out.
What a play by Scott Rowland. My gosh. This is the 2-1 fastball, as you could see, right around the letters, followed by a 45-footer down the third baseline.
So the home run, then the ground out, and now Manny Ramirez digs in. Ramirez hit his 18th career postseason home run last night. He has hit in 16 straight postseason games. And Marquis misses inside with ball 1. The numbers in this World Series for Ramirez, and overall this postseason, he is 20 of 56. Manny was out there to receive the Hank Aaron Award prior to tonight's Game 4. He won it from the American League, and Barry Bonds the winner from the National League. Henry Aaron is with us at the ballpark tonight. That's too far inside. 2 balls and a strike. The last 7 starts for Marquis coming in.
1-3 with a 5.75 ERA. 21 strikeouts, 20 walks. So far, he has failed to go 5 innings in each of his 2 postseason starts. That was here against Los Angeles and at Houston.
That's a bad ratio, too, whenever you see about the same number of walks as strikeouts for a pitcher during any duration.
Falls behind Ramirez 3-1 with David Ortiz on deck. Great start for the Red Sox tonight. Manny Ramirez takes a walk. While we play here in the first inning, baseball fans grab a cold fresh Budweiser. It's game time. And game time tonight started with a home run by Damon and then the ground out by Cabrera.
This terrific play by Scott Rowland. The difficulty on that play is that not only do you have to barehand it, but you have to have the ball in throwing position when you barehand it. Rowland's one of the best at that play.
David Ortiz now 1 on 1 out. Ortiz 3 for 10 in this World Series. Everything is up from Marquis.
Yeah, I think Tony La Russa's 1 hitter away from getting Dan Herron up in the bullpen.
So the walk to Ramirez. The crowd was taken right out of it after the home run by Damon, and now it's 2-0 on Ortiz. Marquis had a very good regular season, 15-7, an ERA of 3.71. But at one point he was 14-4 heading into the month of September. The team went 1-4 down the stretch, and his ERA was well over 5. There are the numbers for the regular season, but there's no doubt that since the 1st of September, Marquis has struggled. The crowd trying to get themselves back into it. Strike 1 on the outside corner. One on, one out, 2 balls and a strike. Pitch was up, but by the bat of Ortiz.
Well, Ortiz is one guy in the Red Sox lineup where you can get away with the high fastball because he loves the ball down.
Varitek on deck. Derek Lowe will be on the mound tonight for the Red Sox. That's wide, a full count. On 3-2, runner goes, and Ortiz flies it into left. Mabry is there for St. Louis, 2 out. Take a look at the defense. Just said the name Mabry. He is making his first start. This is how St. Louis covers the field, brought to you by State Farm. Mabry in left as Reggie Sanders takes a seat. Jim Edmonds in center and Larry Walker in right. Womack is not only still at second, but tonight when we show you the Cardinal lineup, he's back in the leadoff spot. Here's Varitek. Jason only 1 hit in this World Series, but it counted. Back in game 2, a 2-out 2-run triple against Matt Morris that got the Red Sox off and running. And a 6-2 win. Strike 1.
Coming into this game, the Red Sox had scored first in 9 of 13 postseason games, and they won all of them. And they've scored first here tonight.
On 0-1, Varitek takes a breaking ball for a strike.
First breaking ball that Marquis has thrown. And it was a good one.
Molina blocks ball one in the dirt, and Ramirez has made a couple of bluffs off first. Did so during the Ortiz at bat and did on that last delivery to Veritek.
That fake break from first base moves the middle infielders, and Renteria over to cover when Manny Ramirez had that fake break. Good play by Molina, keeping that ball in front of him.
Marquis started to walk away. It's called inside, 2-2.
Tailing fastball just misses inside. That was close.
Veritek on 2-2. Stays alive. We have seen Johnny Damon struggle in the postseason. We have seen Johnny Damon clip his toenails during the postseason. And we have seen Johnny Damon hit a home run in this World Series. First leadoff home run in a World Series game since Game 4, 2000. Veritek is gone, but from New England to Baghdad, Red Sox fans love the start for Boston tonight.
Go, go! Go, Johnny, go! Go! Go, Johnny, go! Go! Go, Johnny, go! Go!
Derek Lowe on the mound for the Red Sox tonight in Game 4, and he misses to Tony Womack. Lowe has had a very good postseason after initially being left out of the rotation. He was a huge factor in the Red Sox beating the Yankees. A strike to Womack, 1 ball, 1 strike. He started Game 4 of the ALCS, left in the 6th inning with the lead. That evaporated quickly after he left with Timlin on the mound, as Womack lines one into left center field. Ramirez over to play it. Nice play by Manny Ramirez. It's a leadoff single. And Womack back in the leadoff spot for the Cardinals for the first time since Game 6 of the NLCS. Starts it with a hit.
That's a tough play to time. I think Cabrera may have jumped just a tad too soon.
Now it's Larry Walker.
Sometimes when you jump too soon on a ball like that, you're coming down when the ball's going up.
Ball 1 to Walker. Larry Walker, one of the few guys in the Cardinal lineup who say they're hitting in this World Series. Walker and Pujols. And that's it. The Cardinals will run tonight on Derek Lowe.
36 base stealers tried to steal off Derek Lowe this year. 34 made it.
And it's something that the coaching staff for the Red Sox tries to keep Derek Lowe thinking about really the entire game. Brad Mills is the bench coach for Terry Francona, and he's the one in charge of trying to keep Lowe quick to the plate. The bunt. The sacrifice 1-3. Down to second is Womack for Pujols and Roland. We give you the starting lineup for the Cardinals, brought to you by Citibank. Womack is at the top. Walker is gone. Pujols, Roland, Edmonds, Renteria, Mabry, Molina, and Marquis, a very good hitting pitcher. Did that bunt surprise you?
Yes, it did. He was bunting for a base hit. Obviously, it was a sacrifice because Womack moved to second base. But Walker, one of the few guys, as you said, one of the few guys swinging the bat well for the Cardinals. 2 home runs, a double, 4 hits in game 1. So it did surprise me. He tried to push it down the third baseline, but Lowe makes a nice play. Had he gotten it down the third baseline, there's a chance he would have been on first. Good play by Lowe.
Pujols checks his swing and a foul ball, strike 1. Pujols has not driven in a run in this World Series. He has 14 RBIs and 6 home runs in the postseason. And that's what he's done at home. A .519 average here at Busch Stadium in the postseason.
The one thing that the coaches of the Red Sox and Terry Francona want to do is make Lowe aware of the runners, but not so aware that he's confused when he comes home.
You can kind of see that already.
Yeah, that's the dicey thing about dealing with the psyche of a guy like Derek Lowe.
Red Sox had Pujols play perfectly. Bellhorn was more toward the middle, 2 out. And we look at how Boston covers the field, which they've done very well the last couple of nights after 4 errors in the first 2 games each. It's brought to you by State Farm. Ramirez, Damon, and Nixon in the outfield. Miller, Cabrera, Bellhorn, and Ortiz made a nice throw in last night's game. Varitek catching low. And here's Scott Rowland. Hitless in the World Series, the 1 RBI on a sac fly.
In our opening, we talked about the 4, 5, and 6 hitters of the Cardinals. They have got to get on track if the Cardinals are going to win tonight.
Rowland pops it foul. That will get out of play. Tony La Russa toyed with the idea of putting Renteria in the number 2 spot, moving everybody back a space. But he thought that that might look like a desperate move from a manager in charge of a club down 3-0.
Yeah, also toying with the idea of putting Larry Walker in the 4-hole.
Runner at third, 2 out. 1 ball, 1 strike from Derek Lowe. La Russa saying before this game, I love this team too much. This team is too special to have it end tonight. 4 games in the World Series and goodbye. The Red Sox trying to do that here on October 27th. Game 4 of this World Series. Rowland during the regular season drove in 124 runs, second best in the National League. And a swinging bunt. The ball stays fair. Lowe makes the tag for the out, and the inning is over. A scoreless inning from Derek Lowe. Gets around the leadoff hit from Tony Womack after 1 in Game 4. 1-0 Boston. Jason Marquis gave up a leadoff home run to Johnny Damon in the first. Got around a 1-out walk, and here is Bill Miller. Had a nice night last night for Boston. In his return, 2 out of 4 in RBI, a big 2-out RBI hit in the 5th inning, which made it 4-0. It ended 4-1. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 2-0.
Joe, predictably, Bill Miller is having a good series against Cardinal pitchers. I thought he would before the series began because the Cardinals don't have a pitcher that can go up the ladder on Miller. That's how American League pitchers try to get him out, but the Cardinals have pitchers that keep the ball down in the strike zone. Pitch to his strength.
2 balls and a strike here. Last 13 games here at home for Miller, and this is his childhood home. Sitting .357. Here's a 2-1 from Marquis. 2 hops to Womack. 1 out. And with the bases empty, Trot Nixon will step to the plate. Nixon in this postseason's only 4 out of his last 27. But if you go back 27 games, he's still hitting .323. A guy who last night chipped in with a 2-out RBI hit. He got the hit in the 4th inning after the base running blunder by Suppan. He takes the pitch low that really hurt the Cardinals. The Cardinals had that chance in the bottom of the 3rd. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Suppan didn't come home on the ground ball by Walker. We've all seen it 1,000 times by now. But then the next half inning, the Red Sox doubled their lead on a 2-out hit by Nixon.
I think the Red Sox have shown how important it is with the immediacy of your strike. They've scored in the 1st inning. They scored after the base running blunder in last night's ball game. And they scored with the 2-run home run that Bellhorn hit when the Cardinals tied it in game 1.
Nixon shoots one into right center field. That ball is going to skip. Walker cuts it off, but it's still a double for Trot Nixon. A 1-out double for Nixon. And he's out there with Bellhorn coming up.
This ball is crushed over the head of Womack. A fine play by Larry Walker to cut the ball off and prevent a triple. Well, that's a big league play right there by Larry Walker. Ex-teammate of Pedro Martinez.
Runner at second, 1 out, Bellhorn. Ball 1. On deck is the pitcher, Derek Lowe. So the Red Sox want to get it done with Bellhorn at the plate. Big home run in game 1. He followed that up with a 2-out 2-run double in game 2. Runner at second, 1 out. 1-0 Boston here in the 2nd. 2-1.
This is not a situation where you want to pitch around Mark Bellhorn. Terry Francona telling Derek Lowe that if Bellhorn gets on, we're going to give you the bunt. You will be bunting, I would imagine, up to 2 strikes. Even through 2 strikes.
The 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike from Marquis. And I think you're right, Tim, about Marquis, even in the 1st inning and here again in the 2nd. Any sign of a prolonged struggle will trigger action in the Cardinal bullpen, where Danny Herron, who's been so good in the postseason, would likely be the first one called.
Yeah, the problem about tonight being down 3-0, you can't wait too long.
Bellhorn hits it into right field, got out in front of it and hooked it foul. Full count. The Cardinals pitched Matt Morris in game 2 on short rest. A, because of Morris and his postseason experience, and B, because Marquis has struggled so. And now here, down 3-0, the Cardinals have to turn to Marquis to try and help their season continue. That'll put 2 on with 1 out. 2 walks so far to go with 1 strikeout for Jason Marquis. And here's Derek Lowe.
Scott Rowland, the captain of the infield, gives the signs, and he just wants Marquis to throw a strike. And the reason for that is they may have the wheel play on, where Rowland charges, Pujols charges, and Renteria goes to third base. It's an easy play to put on right now because you have a guy at the plate who doesn't handle the bat well or often.
Tough base running play for Nixon.
Yes.
Who's not running all that well anyway down at second base for Boston. Ball one up and away. They had Renteria going over to third to cover, Roland coming in, and Pujols charging from first. But you said the key part of it as you began, and that was Marquis has to throw strikes.
Right. I think that's the one thing Roland told Marquis, make sure you throw a strike.
And the bunt. Roland bobbles it, goes to first for the out, and the runners advance to second and third. So Lowe gets the sacrifice. 5-4.
Well, Derek Lowe found the seam between the third baseman and the pitcher. Right there. Scott Roland forced to go to his knees, sliding, pivots, and just gets Derek Lowe at.
Here's Johnny Damon, whose home run put Boston on top in the first. Bank of America, the official bank of Major League Baseball, donates $10,000 to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund for every home run in the World Series. Thus far, $60,000 has been raised for the families of military personnel who have given their lives in the current operations in defense of our country. Second and third, 2 out. Ball one, low and away. And tonight, Bank of America is proud to announce that it will make a total contribution of $250,000 to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund. Big chance for the Red Sox. The second and third, 2 out, and Johnny Damon up. 2-0. If you're the Cardinals, you can say, well, be careful with Damon. Try to make that perfect pitch. You've got Cabrera on deck. Two things. Cabrera's hot, and you load the bases. Marquis' control problems are an even bigger factor. That hits the outside corner, 2-1.
Control really becomes a problem when you have no place to put the hitter. And that would occur if the bases became loaded. Backdoor breaking ball catches the corner.
It's the rookie Yadier Molina doing the catching tonight, taking the spot of Mike Matheny. Here's a 2-1. Popped up left side, slicing foul, and out of the reach of Roland. 2-2. Molina is the youngest of the catching Molinas.
Nice ring to it, does it not?
It's not exactly flying Melendez, but the catching Molinas, there are 3 of them in the big league.
Benji and Jose, both catchers for the Anaheim Angels.
The second trio of brothers to all play in the World Series. This crowd comes alive, hoping that the top of the second will end here. To the right side for Pujols. And the Red Sox have left 3. Bottom of the second rolls in. Edmonds will try and get it started for St. Louis, down by 1. 8 o'clock straight up here in St. Louis. It's game 4. Boston up 3 games to none, and they lead tonight 1-0. Bottom of the second, and Jim Edmonds is first up. Renteria, Mabry will follow, then Yadier Molina. Derek Lowe, a free agent to be, finds the strike zone with his first pitch to Edmonds, who spins out of there. Lowe is 31 years old. So you can make the case that he is in his pitching prime. As Edmonds sticks the bat out, pops it in the left for Ramirez. 1 out. Edmonds 1 for 12 in this series. Before tonight's game, Manny Ramirez and Barry Bonds each received the 2004 Hank Aaron Award for their respective leagues, sponsored by Century 21. Hank Aaron Award originated in 1999 to mark the 25th anniversary of Hank eclipsing Babe Ruth's all-time home run record. Recognizes the best overall hitter in each league. 12 finalists were voted on by the fans at MLB.com. There's Hank. There's Barry Bonds. We all know where Manny Ramirez is. He just caught that last fly ball. First pitch, a strike to Renteria. One and one.
Hammer and Hank with 755 home runs to lead everybody, and would have had 756. But he stepped out of the batter's box, hitting a home run at Old Busch Stadium here in St. Louis against Kurt Simmons.
2-1 on Renteria.
Chris Pellicudis was the home plate umpire, and he called him out for being out of the batter's box.
Where were you situated for that?
About 3 feet from him.
Two balls and a strike, one out, nobody on. Renteria, foul ball. You weren't the one that brought it to Pellicudis' attention, were you? Did you cost the man a home run?
I cost the man a home run, yes.
So Turner Field really could be situated at 756 Hank Aaron Drive.
That's correct.
Not 755. Two
Right.
balls, 2 strikes on Renteria. 3 hits in this series, and that's to third. Miller on a backhand. 2 out. And the batter will be John Mabry. Mabry gets his first start. Pinch hit in this World Series. And for the regular season at .296 with 13 home runs and 40 RBIs. Batting with 2 out, nobody on, and facing Derek Lowe. Ball 1. Including the postseason, the numbers for Mabry as a starter. 63 of them. 12 homers and the 39 RBIs. A bender in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Derek Lowe has had an ERA over 6 on the road the last 2 years. Mabry hits it into right, and Nixon is there for out number 3. Cardinals have only a single so far tonight, and it will be Cabrera, Ramirez, and Ortiz. Big bats coming up for the Red Sox. 3rd inning, 1-0 Boston. On the home run by Johnny Damon in the first, leading off, the Red Sox lead 1-0. 3rd inning now, Cabrera, Ramirez, and Ortiz. How terrific has Orlando Cabrera been in the postseason, in the World Series in particular, for Terry Francona. Takes a strike.
Red Sox traded for Orlando back on July 31st, and there was a period of adjustment in Boston, but since the middle of August, batted close to .330 in the last 2 months. And his postseason, he's been sparkling.
He's one of those guys that you always wondered how good they would be when they got out of Montreal. And the world is seeing it, and this is a free agent at the end of this World Series. A long list of free agents for the Red Sox. The 1-1 to Cabrera. 2-1. It's not just the walks from Marquis, but it's falling behind and putting himself in a spot where he has to throw a strike. And against a lineup like the Boston Red Sox, they will punish you for that.
That's often worse than the walk.
Here's a 2-1 to Cabrera. In the air to left field, didn't get it all, and Mabry has to come get it. 1 out. This is the first World Series featuring alumni from the Little League World Series facing one another. And we go back and look at Jason Marquis as a kid, 3rd place in 1991, pitching for Staten Island, South Shore. Specs on, elbow up, ready to fire. As you saw in our pregame show, or if you didn't, Jason Varitek played in the Little League World Series, and his team was a runner-up as Ramirez fouls it straight back. Varitek did it back in 1984, and his team lost to South Korea in the final. See the numbers for Marquis. His time with Atlanta and with St. Louis in interleague play, a 5-2 record in 9 starts. Cabrera flied out to left. Ramirez has another hit. He's on base for the 2nd time tonight, and Manny Ramirez is now in 17 straight postseason games.
The thing about Ramirez, fouling back the first 2-seam fastball coming in on his hands, and then the next one in there, he turned on it.
Here's David Ortiz. Flied out to left his first time up. Ortiz made jaws drop during batting practice about an hour before the game. I mean, he was pounding the ball.
Put on a show, didn't he?
Into right field. And even the Cardinal fans were applauding by the end of it. Pretty good set during that session of batting practice with Ortiz, Millar, and Ramirez. Some fans ended up with some souvenirs. Here's a 1-0. Ripped into right. That ball is down toward the corner, and Walker will try to dig it out. Ramirez will end up at third. Swain will hold him there. And it's 2nd and 3rd on a double by David Ortiz.
You can see Molina setting up inside, and we've talked about it throughout the postseason that Ortiz rarely misses that pitch down and in.
Dave Duncan, the Cardinal pitching coach, after this double with Ramirez fearing for his life, getting out of the way of that line drive.
So was Albert Pujols. You had 2 guys ducking at first base. That's how hard that ball was hit.
I think Pedro's having some fun tonight after retiring the last 14 hitters he faced last night in the 4-1 win in Game 3.
That's the longest streak of retired guys since Curt Schilling retired 16 in the 2001 World Series.
Jason Varitek is coming up.
Jason Varitek, shortstop.
He caught, he played third base, and he played some short. And he ended up making the final out of that Little League World Series. And the loss in the final to South Korea, and evidently his switch hitting days were ahead of him. What a chance for Varitek and the Red Sox. Ball 1 inside. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, already leading 1-0. Trying to sweep the Cardinals out of the World Series tonight.
I'm surprised that the Cardinals do not have anybody up in the bullpen right now.
Second and 3rd, 1 out. The 1-0. 2-0 with Miller on deck. I would agree with that. The long reliever Danny Herron, who pitched well in Game 1, has had plenty of rest. Marquis is in trouble, and he's fallen behind Varitek 2-0. Breaking ball in for strike 1. And Varitek didn't like the call.
Molina sets up outside. Varitek thought it was low. Very close.
Ramirez the runner at third. Ortiz at second. A single and a double with this 3-4 combination. And Varitek with the RBI chance.
3-1.
I think of the 6 umpires out there tonight, Chuck Merriweather has the broadest and deepest strike zone. Because a lot of pitches that are low in the lower part of the strike zone, a lot of them high, and he'll give pitchers that pitch off the corner away.
Veritek hits it to first. Throw to the plate. Molina with a tag. Ramirez is out.
Good play by Albert Pujols. The reason it was a good play is he was playing back and not pinched at first base. See, he's playing deep. How many first basemen would come home on a play like this, even though the ball was hit well? Fine play, long throw by Pujols to get Ramirez. Molina sticking that leg out there, forcing Ramirez to the outside, and applies the tag.
So the fielder's choice, 3-2 with a put out at the plate. And now it's first and third, 2 out. Bill Miller up. Ball 1. Miller grounded out to second his first time up. But 5 out of 11 in this World Series. Ortiz now the runner at third. Veritek at first. And Molina's going to go talk. You wonder if we will look back on that play at the plate and the aggressive throw by Albert Pujols instead of taking the easy out at first later on tonight.
Thing about Pujols playing that deep, he has an outfielder's arm. He played left field for the Cardinals before settling in at first base. Perfect throw to get Manny Ramirez. But again, not every first baseman would make that play.
A 1-0 to Miller. 2-0.
Thing is, on that play, is you're playing deeply, you're conceding the run. So it'd be all right if Albert went over and touched first base. But no, sir, he came home with it to nail Manny Ramirez.
Runners at the corners, 2 out. 3-0 on Bill Miller with Trot Nixon, who doubled his first time, waiting on deck.
Good play, Molina.
So Miller waits for a 3-0 pitch. That'll load the bases. Honda Pilot recognizes the work of St. Louis hitting coach Mitchell Page in 2004. Page piloted St. Louis hitters to a .278 regular season average. That was best in the National League. The Cardinals hit 214 home runs. So the walk to Miller brings Nixon up. Here's Mitchell Page. Bases loaded, 2 out. Nixon with a line drive double into right center field his first time. Ball 1 low.
This is an accident waiting to happen. You wonder how long Marquis can continue to dance through the raindrops.
Gave up a double and a walk last inning, got around it. Has given up a single, double, and a walk in this inning. And now he's 2-0 on Nixon. Still nobody up for St. Louis in their bullpen. Marquis has fallen behind 13 of the 16 hitters he's faced tonight. And the Cardinals have fallen behind Boston again tonight. The Red Sox with a chance for more. It's 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. Three walks, one strikeout tonight. One run allowed on 4 hits. Nixon rips on 3-0. Deep right center field. This ball's off the wall. 2 runs have scored. The play at the plate, they hold Miller. And it's 3-0 Boston. Swinging on 3-0, and Nixon delivers for the Red Sox.
Nixon missing a grand slam home run by about 8 feet. When major league hitters know what's coming, they hit balls hard, as Nixon proved again.
Red Sox fans celebrating in a bar in New York City, of all places, as the intentional pass will come to Bellhorn to load him up for Derek Lowe. You just have to love the way the Red Sox have played this series. Not only have they outpitched, outhit, and run the bases better than the Cardinals in this World Series, but they've been aggressive from time to time. You think back yesterday, the chance with Cabrera up, everybody expecting a bunt after a leadoff double. They let Cabrera swing away, and he got a base hit to right. Here it's 3-0 with Bellhorn on deck. Nixon knew what was coming, and he did not miss it as the Red Sox turned Trot Nixon loose.
Terry Francona telling us before the game that he's still getting mail from the first 3 games of the Yankee series. Well, the mail over the last 8 days for the Red Sox turns out pretty well.
Now ball one to Derek Lowe, and this crowd has seen about enough. And amazing that nobody is up for St. Louis in their bullpen.
It really is. It's just mind-boggling that Tony La Russa doesn't have anybody up. And
Lowe, talk about aggressive, swinging to even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike, and Al Reyes will get loose.
Yeah, that pitch was out of the strike zone too. That pitch was up and in to Derek Lowe.
Bases loaded, 2 out. 2 runs are home for Boston here in the 3rd inning. 1 and 2 on Lowe. Marquis trying to hang in. The Cardinals are trying to hang in. One ball, 2 strikes on Lowe. 2 and 2. And Marquis questions the home plate umpire, Chuck Merriweather, after not getting this call. Two balls, 2 strikes. The inning is over, but the Red Sox get 2. Knocked home by Trot Nixon. Reacting everywhere are Red Sox fans. Even in the Somerville firehouse, Red Sox fans enjoying a 3-0 lead in Game 4. Derek Lowe heads back to work, and now he has a 3-0 lead. Boston up 3-zip, bottom of the third inning, game 4. Trying to sweep the Cardinals here tonight. The Cardinals trying to force a game 5 tomorrow night. Time is called while they reposition. The right fielder, Trot Nixon, a little bit to his left, closer to the line. And here is the rookie, Yadier Molina. A breaking ball from low is strike 1. Molina so far this postseason 1 for 5. He's in the hole 0-2. And unlike Marquis, Lowe is throwing strikes. No strikeouts or walks for Derek Lowe so far tonight. Molina strikes out on a ball down and away. 1 out here in the third inning, and Marquis will be the hitter.
I think you allow Marquis to hit right here because he's such a good hitter. He led the National League pitchers in hits with 21. He batted .292. He can hack, but sending him back out there, I think, is a considerable risk for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Marquis grounds to short. Cabrera picks it up and throws him out. During the break, we had a chance to visit with Terry Francona, the manager of the Red Sox. One question for Terry. Terry, you're up 3-0 in this game, 3-0 in this series, and you have stayed aggressive this entire World Series. You had Cabrera swing yesterday. You have Nixon swinging on 3-0, and it's paying off, isn't it?
Well, you know what? We're a real good fastball hitting team, and we have faith in each other that they're going to get a fastball, and they know what to do with it, and I think you got to stay with what got you here.
Terry, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
I wonder if people outside of watching the day-to-day pitch-to-pitch of this series across baseball are realizing, Tim, the kind of job that Terry Francona has done with his Red Sox to get them to this point, literally now innings and outs away from a World Series championship.
We talked about the job he has done with the bullpen, but another example of his overall managerial skill, giving Trot Nixon the 3-0 hit sign, trusting he would get a strike. He did and delivered.
Francona's second chance as a manager in the big leagues from '97 to 2000 was the manager in Philadelphia. It was a young club. Schilling was part of it. Scott Rowland was a part of it as a rookie in '97. Womack, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Terry, the bench coach for the Oakland Athletics last year, when Derek Lowe struck out the final Athletic, and then Terry drove across country after the season was over.
Cabrera comes in, takes care of Womack. The Cardinals still with only 1 hit tonight. 4th inning, game 4. Boston batting up 3-0. Red Sox fighting back smiles in their dugout as they lead 3-0. About hit the Cardinals 5-1. Damon has homered and grounded out. Strike 1. Marquis has walked 4, 1 intentionally, struck out 2, one of them Derek Lowe, the pitcher. And he's allowed 3 runs on 5 hits. One ball, 1 strike.
These two teams have played 30 innings in this World Series. The Red Sox have been ahead in 28 of them.
Only 2 innings have the 2 teams been tied. 2 balls and a strike. Damon with a count in his favor. Waits for a 2-1 from Marquis. 2-2. Cabrera next, then Ramirez. During the break, Tony La Russa went out and argued with Chuck Merriweather about his strike zone. The 2-2 pitch. Damon reached for it. Womack flips it out of the glove for the out. And Pujols had to go grab it as well.
Now, the reason that infielders don't do this, the ball gets hung up in the glove, and Womack smoothly shuffling off to Pujols. That is a very difficult play for Tony Womack, and he made it handily.
Glovely. Here's Cabrera. 0 for 2 tonight with a ground out, a fly out. He's hit in 10 straight. Easy to overlook the contributions of Cabrera. With 1 out, nobody on. Orlando takes the ball up and in. St. Louis in the bottom of the 4th inning will have Walker, Pujols, and Rolen. And the only noise coming out of the crowd here at Busch Stadium is a "Let's Go Red Sox" chant. I think a reason why the Cardinal fans are drowning out that cheer is they're stunned with the way the St. Louis Cardinals have played the first 3+ games of this World Series. This is a team that was 1 win shy of their franchise record. They had 105 victories on the season. They had the best road record in all of baseball, best overall record in baseball. They had a pitching staff that was filled with guys with 13, 14, 15 wins. They lost Chris Carpenter. Marquis, the man on the mound, won 15 during the regular season. He's behind Cabrera, 2-1. Now 3-1 with Manny Ramirez on deck. Since '95, only 1 team has finished the regular season with the best record and won the World Series. That was that '98 Yankees team. Full count on Cabrera.
The last time the Boston Red Sox won the World Series back in 1918, they won 86 games.
This year, 98 games, and they were the wild card in the American League. Crowd trying to get back in it on a full count. Cabrera hits it into left center field for Edmonds. 2 out. In case you were wondering, talked about the Cardinals not having a lead this series yet. World Series history. These are the teams that never trailed. The Dodgers sweeping the Yankees in '63. The Orioles of '66 sweeping the Dodgers. And Tony La Russa's 1989 Oakland A's sweeping the Giants in that earthquake-interrupted World Series.
World Series interrupted by 10 days.
There's a rookie, Yadier Molina, who's getting into a argument with Manny Ramirez, and Terry Francona is going to come out and find out what just happened. And now Molina and Ramirez are back in each other's faces.
Well, that's the one thing the Boston Red Sox do not want. Whether it's by Ramirez, by a pitcher throwing tight to a Cardinal. I mean, you have them down. And now Manny apologizing, it appeared, for whatever disagreement there was between the two.
Still talking behind that mask.
Yeah.
2 out, bases empty. Ramirez has walked and singled. Ball 1. Two out, bases empty. Marquis looking for his first 1, 2, 3 inning, 2-0.
How about that fastball? Jason Marquis spinning around after he threw that fastball to Manny Ramirez.
Here comes a 2-0 pitch to Ramirez. 3-0. And none have been close with David Ortiz on deck. And nobody up for St. Louis in their bullpen. Ramirez, the only active player with 6 straight seasons. 300 average, 30 or more home runs, 100 or more RBIs. And his postseason hitting streak is alive at 17 straight. He's swinging on 3-0 and flies it into center field. Edmonds is back. The inning is over. Bottom of the 4th inning. Walker first up for St. Louis. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters to bat. Cardinal fans trying to will the heart of this St. Louis lineup into some hits. Ball 1 to Walker. After a leadoff hit in the 1st inning, Walker dropped down a bunt. It was an odd message for the Cardinals to send. Already trailing at the time 1-0. 2-0. For Walker, it was his first sacrifice bunt since 1991. Trying to get on in front of Pujols and roll it. Two and 1.
Good curveball from Derek Lowe. Fastball situation. Now you can go back to the fastball as the curveball catches the outside corner.
Walker rips it into right. Nixon is back. 1 out. You can get the new MLB Authentic Collection Premier Jacket and wear what the players wear. The MLB Authentic Collection is available on MLB.com or at 888-MLB-SHOP. Clothes make the fan. And there are plenty of red clothes on display with these fans here tonight as Pujols stands in 0 for 1. Oh, 1. One ball, 1 strike. Strike 2. Chris?
Joe, Tony La Russa came out and talked to the home plate umpire after he had his hitting coach, Mitchell Page, go back and look on videotape. He thought that his pitcher, Jason Marquis, wasn't getting the low strikes that Derek Lowe was getting. He thought 2 of the first 3 pitches were strikes. Tony went back, checked it himself. That's what put Marquis in a hole when Nixon had the big 2-run double. So La Russa arguing that his pitcher is not getting the low strikes that Lowe is getting.
All right, Chris. Meanwhile, on a breaking ball down and away, Pujols goes after it and misses it by a mile. 2 out.
Second strikeout for Derek Lowe. He has now retired 11 Cardinals in a row. That's after last night, Pedro Martinez retiring the last 14 Cardinals he faced.
Rolen is jammed and he pops it up. First base side for Ortiz. And the Cardinals go quietly again. 5th inning now. Game 4. Red Sox will bat. They lead it by 3.
Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart. A total eclipse of the heart. A total eclipse of the heart.
David Ortiz leads it off and takes a strike, and we are about a half hour away from a lunar eclipse. No balls, 1 strike on Ortiz with Baratek and Miller to follow. That's wide. 1 ball, 1 strike. Since the beginning of Game 2, the Cardinals are hitting 137 as a group. 10 hits, 73 at bats. And they've scored 3 runs in the last 23 innings. That's wide. 2-1. Ortiz has doubled and scored and fly to left. The Red Sox bursting with confidence as Ortiz takes a rip. 2-2. Full count. Saw that dugout. It has taken almost literally every active player that Terry Francona has had to use in the postseason to get the Red Sox into the World Series. Even David Roberts with the stolen base in Game 4 of the ALCS coming off the bench, making his contribution, scoring the tying run with Mariano Rivera on the mound, and Pedro's been all smiles ever since. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Ortiz. And a leadoff walk. That is 5 walks tonight handed out by Marquis. You can play Hit the Pros presented by the all-new GMC Canyon and face real pitches from today's best hurlers. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN. Keyword games. GMC. We are professional grade. Danny Herron just got up, and Dave Duncan is going to buy him some more time by walking out to talk to Marquis. If you look at the starters for the first 4 games, it includes tonight with Jason Marquis, the starting pitching with Woody Williams getting into the 3rd inning, Morris and Suppan into the 5th. Marquis is pitching here in the 5th inning. He has not gone 5 in each of his 2 previous starts this postseason.
On the other hand, Curt Schilling and Pedro Martinez. Schilling working 6 innings. Martinez working 7 innings, and Derek Lowe has pitched 4 scoreless tonight.
Here is Varitek. Ball 1 outside. Varitek struck out in the 1st and bounced into a fielder's choice at the plate, with Pujols cutting down Ramirez back in the 3rd. The 1-0. 2-0. Dan Herron for St. Louis can't get ready fast enough. Marquis in a spot where he has to throw a strike, and he does. 2-1. With the way Marquis went through the first 3 innings, you could make the argument that the Cardinals should have had somebody ready to come in at the first sign of trouble rather than start to get loose here in the 5th inning, as Varitek fouls it away to even the count 2-2.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Not only have the Red Sox scored 3 runs through the first 3 innings, but threatening. Marquis continuing to fall behind hitters, and he has even the count, fighting back against Varitek.
A walk to Ortiz. And a 2-2 pitch coming to Varitek. Got him looking. 3rd strikeout for Marquis. 1 out in the 5th.
good fastball freezes Varitek.
So Varitek will have a seat, and Bill Miller will step up. Miller drew a walk with 2 on and 2 out in the third inning. That loaded the bases. Then it was 3-0 on Nixon. Rod Nixon hit a ball off the wall for a 2-run double. Strike 1 to Miller.
Yeah, that slope of the mound is supposed to be downhill, not uphill. Tonight it's been uphill for Marquis.
Miller slices it foul. It's 0-2. 100 pitches already from Marquis. Meanwhile, Derek Lowe has thrown 38.
It's going to be a fastball.
And Miller fouls it.
It's a bad habit for a pitcher to get into when he says, yes, I want the pitch. No, I don't want it there. Yes, I want it there. Because the hitter can obviously see those 3 head shakes. Yes, no, yes. The only pitch you locate's a fastball. Miller all over it.
Another 0-2. Breaking ball in the dirt, ball 1. Yadier Molina on the right, Jason Marquis on the left, trying to fight their way through 5 innings. 3-0 Red Sox. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Miller. Jason Marquis, from the end of May through September 4th, won 11 straight decisions on his way to his 15-7 record. There have been times this season where Marquis has been as good as anybody the Cardinals have had. A 2-2 pitch. Full count. Left-handed hitter on deck. Danny Herron, a guy who throws a fork ball in the bullpen. Ready to go. This could be it for Marquis. 1 on, 1 out. Ortiz at first. He's running. Miller grounds to second, and Womack's only play to first. And the Red Sox stay aggressive. By starting the runner, they avoid the inning-ending double play. And now they have Ortiz at second with 2 out.
David Ortiz is not a fast runner, but the speed of the runner is not the determining factor whether you send him or not. It's up to the hitter to make contact. Bill Miller does that. Womack had an idea about going to second, but properly threw the ball to first base.
And now it's Nixon.
Red Sox are doing everything right, and the Cardinals are doing nothing.
Working our way toward a total lunar eclipse. Runner at second, 2 out. Nixon into left center field for Edmonds. On the move, the inning is over. And Jason Marquis is the first Cardinals starter to go 5 innings in this World Series, but the Red Sox lead 3-0. Bottom of the 5th inning, and Derek Lowe has picked up where he left off in Game 7 of the ALCS. Pitching on 2 days rest. Lowe went 6 innings, allowed 1 run on 1 hit in that 10-3 clinching win at Yankee Stadium for Boston. First up is Jim Edmonds. who flied out to left. Back in the second. Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-0 Red Sox. Edmonds lines it at Miller. 1 out. Nine o'clock here in the Central Time Zone, Busch Stadium, Game 4. The Red Sox up 3-0. And in the first inning, just like that, it was 1-0 Boston. Damon getting his first of this World Series, and in the third, bases loaded, 2 out. Nixon bangs one off the wall. A 2-run double, and it's 3-0 Red Sox. Ball 1 to Renteria. Two and 0. Derek Lowe has made himself a lot of money this postseason pitching the way he has for the Boston Red Sox. A free agent to be. Breaking ball in for a strike, 2-1.
One scribe writing for a Boston paper said that Derek Lowe, in that last start against the Yankees, made himself at least $8 million. Might be right.
One team that might be interested is the team he beat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Yankees will be looking for pitching over the offseason. And word is they have money to spend. 2-2, the count on Renteria. Renteria playing in his 2nd World Series. Takes ball 3 high. Cardinals have not had a base runner since the leadoff hit by Womack in the 1st. 13 straight retired by Lowe. The 3-2 pitch. Renteria into left center field. That ball's going to get down. Edgar Renteria will make it to second easily as Damon falls down. And it's a 1-out double.
A terrific piece of hitting by Renteria, who hits this ball one-handed. Slapped into left center field. Good play by Johnny Damon, who after he made the catch on one hop slipped. But Renteria with a double that Card fans hope can get the Cardinals going here in the 5th.
Their second hit. Mabry at the plate. And that gets no leather from Veritek.
That was a cross-up, it appeared.
Over to third goes Renteria.
Veritek will go out and talk to Derek Lowe. There's only been one guy on second all night. That was Tony Womack in the 1st inning, and that's when a catcher and a pitcher have problems. You can see that move to his right. He was looking for a breaking ball. He got the fastball. Just say when you're looking for the local and you get the express, you're in trouble. Well, the Cardinals with a break.
Renteria at third, 1 out, 1 ball, no strikes on Mabry. Bottom of the 5th. 3-0 Boston. Mabry so far out in front of that pitch. 1-1.
It's what happens when a hitter gets a breaking ball and a fastball count.
That's strike 2. And Derek Lowe is hoping for his 3rd strikeout of the night. John Mabry is trying to put the Cardinals on the board. Mabry strikes out, I believe. He's out. Mabry thought he tipped the pitch and stood at home plate. Chuck Merriweather, the home plate umpire, said that the ball did not hit his bat. And Varitek picked up the ball, tagged him for the out. 2 out in the inning, and Tony La Russa is going to come out and argue.
Well, the thing was, it didn't appear that Varitek thought the ball tipped the bat either, because when he picked it up, he rather incredulously went over and touched Mabry, thinking that John perhaps should have run. Pitch is outside. Obviously, if he misses the ball, see, you can tell by the reaction of Varitek that he didn't think he tipped the ball. Mabry did, however. And he's a strikeout victim. That's a play where a home plate umpire can't get help on.
Mabry is still pleading his case, and now they're joined in the argument by Ed Montague, the crew chief.
I mean, Montague, though, the third base umpire, is not going to hear what Chuck Merriweather, who was 3 feet away from the foul tip, heard. And it's so imperceptible, you're not going to see something like that. Couldn't tell.
Too hard to tell visually. When we heard the audio replay, if he just ticked it, you couldn't hear it. And the strikeout, let's listen. Very tough to tell, but obviously you can hear the ball hit the mitt. Molina now with the runner at third, 2 out. As the Cardinals ask the rookie for a 2-out RBI hit. A huge third strikeout for Derek Lowe. 1 ball, 1 strike. Varitek keeps it at the plate. Good play by the Boston catcher. It's 2-1. Molina during the regular season knocked home 15 runs. Molina here is either going to add to the frustration for the Cardinals in this 5th or give them a huge lift. Trailing 3-0. Runner at third. 2 out. 2-1 pitch. To the shortstop. Cabrera. Getting over. The Cardinals get the double. Get the wild pitch. Then the strikeout and a ground out. We go to the 6th inning of Game 4. Boston still shutting out St. Louis. It's 3-0. Jason Marquis is pitching here in the 6th inning. And the Red Sox still lead 3-0. Marquis is set to lead off in the bottom of this frame. And he will pitch to Bellhorn, Lowe, and Johnny Damon here in the 6th. Strike 1 to Bellhorn. Mark has walked twice. Once unintentionally, once intentionally. One ball, 1 strike. Derek Lowe will follow. Bellhorn hit 17 home runs during the regular season. He takes a strike. It's 1-2.
To his credit, Jason Marquis, pitching against the current, has come back over the last couple of innings. Only one base runner for the Red Sox in the 4th and 5th innings.
Pitched around a leadoff walk in the 5th. As the count goes to 2-2, and at the moment there's no action for St. Louis in their bullpen. Certainly no action for the Red Sox in theirs. The way Derek Lowe is pitched. Marquis stopped himself. Bellhorn strikes out, 1 away. Let's go down to Chris Myers.
Joe, not just a father and son going to the ballpark. Red Sox fan. We have Ralph and Dave Taylor, teenager and his friend out of school. You guys are missing school for this?
Yep. And I'm loving it.
You're a Red Sox fan. Are you from Boston?
I'm from Boston, and I can't wait to come back and brag about how I got to see the Red Sox win the World Series.
I hope your teacher's okay with that. Pretty cool that Dad brought you here. You know, you're setting himself up possibly for a lot of disappointment given the Red Sox history.
You know, I realize that it's a risk, but we decided to take it.
How long have you been a Red Sox fan?
Since his older brother was old enough to be a baseball player.
And how will you react if the Red Sox finally do win it?
I don't know. You know, I think we're not used to living without that shadow.
It's something you can adjust to. By the way, I'm not making this up, Joe. Ralph he owns a waste management company in Boston. He's put up with a lot of garbage over the years, I'm sure.
Oh. 2 out, nobody on after Lowe bounced back to Marquis, who made a nice play.
Fine play by Marquis. Snow cones it. And underhands to get Low.
Damon takes a ball. One ball, no strikes on Johnny Damon, who got it started. The way the Red Sox have started each of the 3 previous games of this World Series with first inning runs. And he lines one into right center field. That ball will go all the way to the wall, and Damon can fly. He will scoot around second, head for third, and make it with a 2-out triple. A homer and a triple tonight for Johnny Damon.
A fastball on the outer part of the plate that finds a lane in the outfield. And Damon makes it to third.
So now an RBI chance for Cabrera as Reyes gets loose. Big run sitting over there for Boston. Ball 1. Cabrera tonight 0 for 3. Kempner of the New York Times is keeping this statistic, and it is amazing. Against Cardinals starting pitching, the Boston Red Sox have swung and missed a pitch 16 times in 366 pitches. Man. So that's with foul balls, putting the ball in play. Only 16 times, 366 pitches have the Red Sox swung and missed a pitch against the Cardinal starters. 2-0 is the count here on Cabrera. 2-1.
17 times.
2 balls and a strike. Cabrera with his 10-game hitting streak on the line. That ball came back over the outside part, 2-2.
Well, the point of that whole thing is that the Cardinals just do not have the power to combat the Red Sox. They may be effective, but it won't be with power.
Marquis just rearing back and throwing it as hard as he can. 93 miles per hour. It's still 2-2. Now Al Reyes has taken a seat. And it's only Ray King who needs literally a handful of pitches to get loose up in the Cardinal bullpen. A 2-2 to Cabrera. Popped up into right. Walker is there. We move to the bottom of the 6th inning. 9-1-2 coming up for St. Louis, trying to live on past tonight. Down 3. Welcome back, our Budweiser fantasy player Pedro Martinez from last night's Game 3 start. His numbers outstanding. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN, keyword fantasy baseball. Tonight's game brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Marlon Anderson will start the bottom of the 6th inning as a pinch hitter. Likes to go after the first pitch as he takes a strike. And that's what Derek Lowe has done all night. He has not walked a hitter. He struck out 3 and allowed no runs on just 2 hits. And the bunt, easy play for Lowe. 1 out.
It's funny, the St. Louis Cardinals, who did not bunt at all or attempt to bunt against Curt Schilling, a guy with a bad ankle, have bunted twice tonight. One a sacrifice by Larry Walker in the 1st inning. And now Marlon Anderson tries to bunt for a base hit. Unsuccessfully.
Tony Womack has one of only 2 St. Louis hits, the other by Renteria. The last inning was standing on 3rd with only 1 out and didn't move. Womack takes a breaking ball low. Derek Lowe came to the Red Sox in 1997 with the man catching him, Jason Varitek, for Heathcliff Slocum. And you talk about getting mileage out of 2 guys. Lowe was a 21-game winner in 02, 17 wins in 03. This year down to 14, but Red Sox organization couldn't care less with what he's done in the postseason. 2-1 now on Womack.
A trade made by then general manager Dan Duquette. Theo Epstein, of course, the general manager now. Done a remarkable job.
Womack flies into left center for Damon. 2 outs. Here's Derek Lowe talking about coming to the Red Sox and his life in the big leagues to this point.
Neither one of us had any idea what we got ourselves into when we came here. You know, the city of Seattle and the city of Boston are 2 different cities, but you know, we both have really enjoyed it. I know we're both free agents at the end of the year, and you know, we really try to enjoy this and you know, hope to stay here for a long time.
He's a free agent at the end of the year, as is Varitek. Larry Walker takes the ball up and away. 2 out, nobody on here in the 6th. 3-0 Red Sox. One ball, 1 strike. Again, after a leadoff hit in the 1st inning by Womack, Walker bunted Womack down to 2nd. So he took the bat out of his own hands, and then Pujols grounded out. Rolen did the same. The Red Sox carried that 1-0 lead. Now it's 3-0. The count goes to 2-1 on Walker. Commissioner Bud Selig is here. enjoying game 4. That's wide, 3-1.
The Cardinals need for something dramatic to happen in a hurry. They have only 10 more outs in regulation with which to work.
A 2-out walk brings Pujols to the plate. Who else would these Cardinal fans want to come up needing something to happen in a hurry? 1 on, 2 out. Strike 1, good pitch. Oh, and 2.
Pujols struck out the last time up on a curveball way out of the strike zone. I would look for Varitek and Lowe to try to do that again.
Varitek sets up out there, and they do. This time Pujols lays off, 1 and 2. And now Lowe wants to talk about the strategy with Pujols up. The Cardinals could jump back into this game with 1 swing. Two and 2. Now 1 RBI for Albert Pujols in this World Series. Three and 2. Lowe reacting with that pitch. It was called outside or low, thinking he had. Pujols struck out to end this threat in the 6th.
That was a tailing fastball that Lowe tried to wrap back on the outside part of the plate. Wanted it, didn't get it.
So an 0-2 count has become a 3-2 count. And Ortiz comes over to join the meeting with Varitek and Lowe. And it's Ortiz with the last words before going over to presumably play behind the runner, Larry Walker at first. Pujols pops it up into shallow center. Out goes Bellhorn, the second baseman. Derek Lowe has pitched 6 shutout innings. And he just took care of Albert Pujols in a key spot after the 2-out walk. Still 3-0. The Red Sox on top. 7th inning now. Back after this from your local Fox station. We're into the 7th inning now. 3-0. The Boston Red Sox are on top, and I think it's easy with all the drama around Curt Schilling and the start last night by Pedro Martinez to overlook what Derek Lowe has done, and considering what he did against the Yankees, really in 2 starts, but predominantly in that Game 7 start and what he's doing tonight. he is as big a reason why the Red Sox are this close to a World Series title.
In 3 starts, he's worked 18 innings, 17 2/3. Actually, he's given up 2 runs. In 2 games against the Yankees, a shutout against the Cardinals tonight over 6 innings.
Dan Herron takes over. Here in the 7th inning, and Manny Ramirez first up takes a strike from Herron. Three to nothing Boston. Ramirez is walked, singled, flied out. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hard to believe Derek Lowe was in the bullpen the first 2 games of the American League Championship Series.
He was the pitcher of record in the clincher against the Anaheim Angels when Ortiz hit the 10th inning home run. 2 balls and a strike now on Manny Ramirez. He made the Game 4 start, kept his team in the game, and then made the Game 7 start. And now tonight, the Red Sox try to sweep. Here's a 2-1 to Ramirez. 2-2. You talk about the power in the Cardinal rotation. Danny Herron is the one guy coming out of the bullpen that has that power type stuff with a fastball and splitter that can get swings and misses.
Yeah, Danny Herring and Jason Isringhausen, they're 2 power guys.
Here's a 2-2. Ramirez went 1 out. Our Bank of America higher standards. The performance of Derek Lowe. Game 7 against the Yankees. Getting hugged, 6 innings. 1 run on 1 hit. And then tonight, he has been nasty. He's made very good hitters look off balance and out of whack. With 1 out and nobody on, here is David Ortiz. Ball 1 low. Ortiz a double. He got the 2-run rally kicked in after the single by Ramirez back in the 3rd. It was 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Bases loaded with 2 out, and Nixon delivered. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals in the 7th inning will have Rolen, Edmonds, and Renteria. Two and 1. Ortiz grounds to first for Pujols. 2 out. There were some after the NLCS with the way Dan Herron pitched out of the bullpen and the way some of the Cardinal starters performed in that series. They thought Danny Herron had earned a start. And looking back on Jason Marquis' night, he really struggled through the first 3 innings, persevered. Ended up going 6 innings, allowing 3 runs on 6 hits, but he did walk 5, 1 intentionally. While he was pretty good, so far Derek Lowe has been great. Ball 1 down and into Varitek. Varitek hits one into left center field. Well hit. Edmonds on the run. Still going at the track to end the inning. Top of the 7th inning is history. Red Sox trying to make history here tonight after doing so in the ALCS against the Yankees. We will stay here at Busch Stadium for God Bless America.
Dugout. The founding member and voice of Creed, and now a solo artist. He has sold over 30 million records. He's here tonight to honor our servicemen and women around the world by singing God Bless America. Please welcome Grammy Award-winning artist Scott Stapp.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with fall. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
The St. Louis Cardinals have 9 outs left with which to work. Facing Derek Lowe, Doug McCaviage takes over at first base for David Ortiz as Terry Francona improves the defense. And Scott Rowland is first up, still hitless in this World Series. 0 for 2 tonight, 3-0 Boston. Bronson Arroyo, the right-hander. Alan Embry, the lefty, getting loose. Rowland is grounded out to the pitcher and fouled out. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Normally, for a team that led the National League in runs scored, overcoming a 3-run deficit in the last 3 innings, not that big a deal. But it is now with the way Lowe has been working and with the fresh arms that the Red Sox have in their bullpen.
Two balls and a strike. John Henry, who grew up a Cardinal fan, in the middle. Principal owner of this Boston Red Sox team. Here's a 2-1. 2-2. Checked his swing. It's a full count.
He almost went, but not quite.
Rowland pops it into center field. Easy play for Damon. 1 out. Here's Jim Edmonds. Edmonds 0 for 2. Hit the ball hard his last time up and lined out to third. Into center field. Damon coming on. 2 out. Our game summary is brought to you by John Hancock. And so far for Derek Lowe, 6 2/3, no runs, 2 hits. Johnny Damon a leadoff home run. Trot Nixon with a 2-out, 2-run double. The Red Sox starters games 2 through 4, no earned runs in 19 2/3 innings. That's Schilling, Pedro, and Derek Lowe. 31,458 days since the Red Sox last won the World Series. 1918.
1 strike on Renteria. Renteria's on with a 2-out hit. It has been 86 years since 1918, the last time the Red Sox won the World Series. Vitamin C, penicillin, and polio vaccine not yet discovered. U.S. population 106 million. It's 281 now. Average life expectancy 54 years, 77 now. Women did not have the right to vote. The NFL and the NBA did not exist. As Mabry grounds that one foul.
The Boston Globe in 1918 cost 2 cents. A quart of milk was 14 cents. Bread was 8 cents a loaf.
No balls, 2 strikes.
The Great Depression was 11 years away.
And for our younger viewers, kids, there was no reality TV back then.
No TV of any kind.
That's right, but no reality TV. 1 on, 2 out, no balls, 2 strikes on Mabry.
Yeah, the reality was there was no TV.
Right. 1 ball, 2 strikes on John Mabry.
Baseball was not heard over the airwaves until 1923.
Renteria stealing as Mabry strikes out, and the inning is over. We go to the 8th inning. Are the kids staying up in New England? You bet. Moms and dads not worrying about school tomorrow right now. The Red Sox 1 win away from a World Series victory. Bill Miller leads it off and takes a strike on the outside corner from Dan Herron. 8th inning underway. Miller, Nixon, and Bellhorn for the Red Sox, who lead this series 3-0, and this game 3-0 since the 3rd inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. A run in the 1st and the home run by Damon. 2 runs in the 3rd inning on the 2-out, 2-run double by Trot Nixon, and that is it. As Isringhausen, the closer for the Cardinals, who has not appeared in this World Series, gets loose. Miller lines a base hit into right field. And Bill is on to start the 8th inning. On for the 2nd time tonight. Between innings, after Derek Lowe got out of the bottom of the 7th, Pedro Martinez with a big bear hug for Derek Lowe. 2 guys who could potentially be elsewhere next year. Here comes Dave Duncan out to talk to Dan Herron. You look back at the heartache for the Boston Red Sox. 1946 World Series Game 7 in the Mad Dash. Enos Slaughter scoring all the way from first with Johnny Pesky, the relay man. 1978, the 1-game playoff and the Bucky Dent home run over the Green Monster of Mike Torres. Nixon rips one down toward the right field corner. Miller will dig for 3rd. Dale Swain will hold Miller at 3rd, and it's 2nd and 3rd, nobody out.
So Trot Nixon with his 3rd double of the night. If the Cardinals do make a pitching change, it would have to be a double switch because the pitcher is hit batting second in the bottom of the 8th inning. So it will probably be Reggie Sanders in left field and Jason Isringhausen coming in the game, with Sanders batting in the 9-hole.
Trot Nixon is relieved for a pinch runner. Gabe Kapler comes in. Isringhausen is coming in. Sanders coming in the double switch. 8th inning, and the Red Sox looking to add some more. One of the only things that's gone wrong for the Red Sox since October 17th, a misfire on the high five from Kapler coming in to run for Trot Nixon. October 17th, the night of that 19-8 Game 3 drubbing by the Yankees in the ALCS. Since then, the Red Sox have won 7 straight, and if they make it 8 tonight, they'll win the World Series as Isringhausen takes over, second and third, nobody out, Bellhorn up, infield in. Already 3-0 Boston here in the 8th. Ball 1. Bellhorn struck out tonight. He's been walked twice. Infield is in. Bellhorn. 1 ball, 1 strike.
How telling is it when it took the Cardinals 34 innings in the World Series to get their closer in?
Bellhorn trying to put the ball in play. Miller the runner at third. Kapler on at second. Bellhorn takes high. It's 2-1. Bellhorn has had trouble putting the bat on the ball this season. Set a club record with 177 strikeouts. A lot of strikeouts early in this postseason. But he has changed that, putting the ball in play much more. Count in his favor, and now it's even, 2-2.
He's elevated his game just like the rest of the Red Sox have over the last 8 days. Should say 8 games.
Just about 8 days.
Yeah.
It's been almost nonstop. Isringhausen's 2-2 pitch to Bellhorn. Wouldn't go after it. Full count. Bellhorn hitting .300 in this World Series with 1 home run, 4 RBIs. That'll load the bases. And Kevin Millar will come off the bench to pinch hit for Derek Lowe. And Pokey Reese will come out of the dugout and run for Bellhorn, stay in the game, and play second base. It is all falling right for the Red Sox, even getting these guys on. They improve their speed on the bases, and then they'll leave Kapler and Reese in the game to improve the defense when they take the field in the bottom of the 8th. What will the score be? Right now, that's up to Millar and Isringhausen.
Now the Cardinals forced to play their infield in. Any ground ball on the infield, they're coming home.
Ball 1. Derek Lowe, 7 innings, no runs, 3 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. A 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. If Derek Lowe gets a decision, he will have won all 3 clinchers for the Red Sox. The win over Anaheim, Game 7 at Yankee Stadium, trying to win tonight. 2-0 pitch. 2-1.
Good fastball. A cutter from Isringhausen. Isringhausen, normally not a guy who throws a lot of ground balls. He needs one at an infielder right here.
On 2-1, bases loaded, nobody out. Millar, big rip, fouls it back. Two and two. Isringhausen needs a strikeout. Red Sox trying to pile on. 1 out. Bases loaded for Johnny Damon.
Isringhausen gets a strikeout. Now I think the infield will remain in because the probability of doubling up Johnny Damon remote. He's too fast.
Isringhausen a career high 47 saves that tied him for first in the National League. Right now trying to keep the Cardinals in this game and in the World Series. Damon grounds to the right side. Pujols throws out. What a play by Albert Pujols. 2 out. What a throw.
It's sensational play by Pujols. He's the only guy who can get to the ball. Womack couldn't range that far to the left. Watch this throw. Right on the money, across his body, from his view. Oh, what a play.
That is twice tonight. Pujols has thrown out a runner at the plate, this time a force out.
The key thing, again, about that play is if the ball gets through Pujols, then Womack might make the play, but the time that elapsed would allow the runner to score. His only play would have been to first base.
Now it's Cabrera, bases loaded, 2 out. Cardinals looking for a lift, and Isringhausen trying to provide it. Smothered by Molina, ball 1. St. Louis in the bottom of this 8th. Molina, the scheduled leadoff hitter. Then Sanders, then Womack. The big bats for St. Louis will come to the plate before the end of the night. And Bronson Arroyo, it appears, will take over in the bottom of this 8th. Two 2-0 on Cabrera. Go to first, too late, and it's 3-0 on Orlando Cabrera at the plate.
Pujols trying to go behind Johnny Damon, but in the process, Isringhausen falls way behind Cabrera. He may take 2 fastballs.
On 3-0, 3-1. Three and 2.
taking all the way.
Back toward us. Isringhausen took over with runners at second and third, nobody out, and walked Mark Bellhorn. That loaded the bases. Then Millar struck out. Damon bounced into the force out at the plate. And now it's a full count on Cabrera. Cabrera up there battling. You get the feeling this could be a knockout blow on the part of the Red Sox. Or the Cardinals will charge off that field thinking they still have a chance. Good at bat by Cabrera.
He has had 3 solid swings after running the count to 3-2.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Pokey Reese is in the game at second. Gabe Kapler is in right field. And the new pitcher is Bronson Arroyo. Second appearance of this World Series, and he starts Cedeno with a strike. Cedeno batting for Molina, with Reggie Sanders on deck, and then Womack. One ball, one strike.
Arroyo with the sweeping breaking ball, very effective against right-handed batters. The left-hander Embry, the right-hander Mike Timlin.
Cedeno in the hole, 1-2. 3 out of 11 this postseason is Roger Cedeno. Terry Francona showed a lot of confidence in Bronson Arroyo in the ALCS. Pitched him in game 1 of this World Series, now back, leading 3-0 in the 8th inning of game 4. And that caught the home plate umpire, Chuck Merriweather.
Looked like it hit the right shin guard of Chuck. Umpires do wear the shin guards underneath their pants with the hard-toed shoes. Flexibility not a problem for the umpires behind home plate, not a necessity, I should say.
Jason Varitek back to the plate, tried to buy some time for the pain to subside for Merriweather. And games 2 through 4, from Schilling to Martinez to Derek Lowe. Look at the bottom line. No earned runs in a combined 20 innings against the top offense in the National League during the regular season. Cedeno pops it up. It's Pokey Reese, 1 out. So the leadoff man is gone for St. Louis, and Reggie Sanders trots to the plate. A lot of energy over in that Red Sox dugout. Lowe is probably sweating more and bouncing around now more than he did the first 7 innings. One ball, no strikes on Sanders. Foul. 1-1. You think about how the Red Sox got here, having to get hot and stay hot down the stretch as the wild card representative from the American League. You go back 2 years ago, Anaheim was a wild card. They won the World Series. Last year, Florida, the wild card. They beat the Yankees in the World Series. The 1-1. Strike 2 from Arroyo. Cardinals ran away and hid in the Central Division. Beat Houston by 13 games. Got a chance to rest players down the stretch. The Red Sox had to stay hot. And they have, for the most part, remained hot. They took care of Anaheim in 3 straight. They fell down 3-0 to the Yankees, but they've won 7 straight since then.
Yeah, everything's been straight. They won 3 straight, lost 3 straight, won 7 straight.
A 2-2 pitch. Ball 3 to Reggie Sanders. The next spot in the Cardinal lineup is Womack, the left-handed leadoff hitter, then the lefty Walker. The left-hander Embry is ready in the Red Sox bullpen if they want to go that way. Depends on what Sanders does. He walks. And that'll be it for Arroyo. We'll take a break. Embry, the lefty, is coming out of the pen. Womack and Walker coming up. Alan Embry is the 3rd pitcher of the night. Lowe went 7. Arroyo 1/3 of an inning. And now as he looks in, Embry does, to the home plate area, he sees Hector Luna digging his way in instead of Tony Womack. So Tony La Russa goes to the right-handed hitting Luna. A Rule 5 draft pickup from the Indians organization. And Womack, the experienced postseason player, is out. Interesting move. 1 on, 1 out. Strike 1.
Cardinals here in Game 4 of the World Series trying to do what the Red Sox did to the Yankees in Game 4 of the American League Championship Series.
What a jump by Sanders. And Embry was watching him take second the entire time.
Well, you accomplished 2 things there. He sees you running. A huge risk on Reggie Sanders' part. Not only do you get second base, but the pitch is a ball to Luna.
So Sanders walks and steals second. Now a 1-1 count on Hector Luna. Two balls and a strike.
Orlando Cabrera out there to talk to Embry, and I think what he's telling him is we're going to be playing back. We're not going to fool with Reggie Sanders. You have a 3-run lead in the 8th inning. He's thinking about stealing third. We're not going to be close, and you can see Pokey Reese backing way off at second base. Same with Cabrera.
The 2-1. 2-2. Here's a guy, Hector Luna, who's 24 years old. Never played higher than Double-A baseball. Last year was at Akron, hit .297. This year with the Cardinals in part-time duty, hit .249. Started only 37 games all year, and he's up one of the most important at-bats in 2004 for Tony La Russa. Two out. And Larry Walker will be the hitter, and Tony La Russa, I'm sure, will be asked about the decision to lift Womack with all of his postseason experience, even with a left-hander on the mound in Alan Embry.
Embry with 5 straight fastballs to get Hector Luna. Nothing fancy about Alan Embry. I don't think any of the Cardinals will see any breaking balls from Embry. All heat.
Larry Walker now. Strike one. So you know, Womack in his career 1 for 7 against the left-hander Embry. Larry Walker 3 out of 6. Timlin getting loose with Pujols on deck. If Pujols bats in this 8th inning, he'll represent the tying run. Walker fights it off, pops it up. Cabrera, 8 innings complete. 1 more inning to go. Red Sox leading 3-0. Larry Walker popping this one up to end the 8th inning. Celebrating in Baghdad, Iraq. The Red Sox fans there. And Manny Ramirez digs his way in to start the 9th. From Isringhausen, first pitch. Rowland, the long throw for the out. Base is empty for Doug Minkiewicz, who came in as a defensive replacement for Ortiz in the 7th. Matheny takes over behind the plate after Molina was lifted for a pinch hitter. Dan Shaughnessy of the Boston Globe wrote a piece as Minkiewicz takes a ball from Isringhausen, talking about while these games are unfolding and while right now the Red Sox are 3 defensive outs away from winning the World Series, how many people across New England are thinking about loved ones who spent their entire lives rooting for the Boston Red Sox, wishing one day they would see them win the World Series. Larry Walker comes in to get it, 2 out. The Red Sox have led from the first batter on, and our Polar Express play of the game. That express off the bat of Johnny Damon. 2 more for Boston in the 3rd inning, and they lead 3-0 here in the top of the 9th. Generations have passed in New England with Red Sox fans not seeing a World Series championship for their beloved Boston Red Sox.
There's Dan.
2 out here in the top of the 9th. Varitek at the plate. What a leader Varitek has been all year. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And it's the ways that the Red Sox have not won the World Series. Taking 4 National League opponents in 46, 67, 75, and 86 taking 4 to 7 games, and oh, the heartbreak.
Veritek takes a breaking ball for strike 2. The Red Sox fans are celebrating here in St. Louis in the top of the ninth, as Veritek takes ball 2. I've already shown you the Bucky Dent home run in that one-game playoff against the Yankees in '78. The 1946 World Series. The mad dash in the 8th inning by Enos Slaughter. Here's a 2-2. The 1986 World Series Game 6, the Buckner play. Red Sox would lose in Game 7 as they did last year in the ALCS. The 11th inning home run by Aaron Boone off Tim Wakefield, who has been willing to do any and everything for the Red Sox in his 10 years with the organization. A guy who was signed as a minor league free agent. And although he's made only one short start in this World Series, how valuable was he out of the bullpen in the ALCS with the Yankees this year?
Particularly in Game 3, the game won by the Yankees 19-8 when he ate up innings.
Veritek gets the base hit into left. He's on with 2 out here in the 9th inning. It was December of 1919, after that 1918 World Series victory, that Harry Frazee sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees. But Ruth wasn't the only one to go. Pennock went, Wade Hoyt, Carl Mays, and then the next year Ed Barrow went from the Boston Red Sox organization to the Yankees. And it was with Barrow running that organization that the Yankees built those great teams in the early 1920s. The Red Sox have not won the World Series for 86 years. They lead 3-0, up 3 games to nothing here in Game 4. And that will send Game 4 into the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Cardinals, trying to do something against the Red Sox pitching. Bottom of the 9th inning. Part of the order coming up for St. Louis. 3-0 Boston. Albert Pujols is getting set to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning. 3-0 Boston. Here is the Gillette Mach 3 Power home run hitter, Albert Pujols. This postseason, 6 home runs, 4 in the NLCS, where he was the most valuable player. But against Red Sox pitching in this World Series to this point, he is 4 out of 14 without an RBI. And Keith Foulke comes in to try and close it. Pujols, Rowland, and Edmonds. Anybody gets on, Renteria. Strike 1 from Foulke. With flash bulbs popping around the park, 1 ball, 1 strike. The combination of Walker, Pujols, Rowland, and Edmonds hitless tonight. That's strike 2. And the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for St. Louis, Pujols, Rowland, and Edmonds, a combined 119 average with 1 RBI and 3 runs scored.
It has been a postseason where ordinary folk has been extraordinary folk.
His 1-2 pitch. Pujols stays up there, hammering at that high fastball.
Keith Foulke giving up 1 run. The home run by Larry Walker last night in a 4-1 Red Sox victory.
Pujols gets it started with a hit. Right through the legs of Folk. Is that the start the Cardinals need? They need one more base runner to have a chance in the ninth.
With Edmonds on deck and Rolen, who is hitless in the World Series, at the plate right now.
Strike one to Rolen. There was an at-bat between Rolen and Folk in game one. Cardinals had tied the game 9-9. Rolen with the bases loaded and one out went after the first pitch and popped up. He's in the hole here 0-2. The Cardinals would not score again in game one. Bailhorn hit the 2-run home run in the 8th inning and won it 11-9. So a rematch for Rolen against the Boston closer. Ball one. Rolen hits it in the air to right center field. Kepler, 1 on, 1 out. Folk will battle with Jim Edmonds, who he has struck out twice in this World Series. Strike one. With Pujols taking second, Edmonds fouls it away 0-2. John Henry, the principal owner, Tom Warner, the chairman, seated next to each other in the stands here in St. Louis. Henry on the edge of his seat. Warner is back in his seat. 0-2 on Edmonds. Two down. The Red Sox are 1 out away. Edgar Renteria, 2 out of 3 tonight. The last chance for St. Louis to extend this game. Pujols takes second on ball one inside. No stolen base. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions. It has been 86 years. Generations have come and gone. And for the first time since 1918, the Boston Red Sox are champions of baseball. A clean sweep with the St. Louis Cardinals. A dominating effort by the Red Sox in this World Series. And the Red Sox celebrate in the middle of the diamond here at Busch Stadium. We welcome you to the Bank of America post-game show. Let's go down in the middle of that mess to Chris Myers.
All right, Joe, the historic march completed with Johnny Damon. Congratulations, the Red Sox, the Idiots, are World Series champions.
Absolutely. I mean, we know we're idiots, we know we're Cowboys, but we also know we're world champions, and we just overcame what a lot of people could not even realize. So I know there's a lot of happy people back home in Boston. That boy, Kev.
Including Kevin Millar. How important was it, given the history, Kevin, to finish it off and not let it go to a fifth game?
I'll tell you right now, man, this is a big-time team we're playing with, a big-time bunch of guys, and I'm so proud just to be a part of this organization, man.
Take us back to 03 Yankees and how it all began and what you guys did to get through there.
Well, we're just so carefree, huh? We kind of were like, okay, let's go out and win Game 4. And then we knew we had Pedro and Schilling going 5 and 6, so we knew we were going to push to the Game 7. We had confidence. We gave the due respect to the other teams, the Yankees, the Cardinals were a great team, and you know, we did it.
And for the Red Sox fans, not only in Boston, across they were watching in Baghdad, Iraq, across the country, what do you say, Kevin?
I'll tell you, thank you for being there, man. We want to do it so bad for the city of Boston to win a World Series with this on your chest. Hasn't been done since 1918, so rip up those 1918 posters right now.
All right, congratulations. Stephen King is smiling somewhere, Joe, with a happy ending.
Chris, thank you very much. Two guys so instrumental. This entire roster, 1 through 25, off the bat of Renteria, into the glove of Keith Folk. It had been 86 years. And with that, the Boston Red Sox, led by Terry Francona, win the World Series. Touching off a celebration here in St. Louis, throughout New England, and for Red Sox fans around the world. The Red Sox win the World Series, win Game 4 tonight, 3-0. More in a moment. We welcome you back to the Bank of America postgame show. Here in St. Louis, where the Boston Red Sox and those fans who made the trip here celebrate. Let's go down to Jeannie Zelasco.
Well, Joe Buck, thank you very much. Of course, the championship trophy to be given away in mere moments. But first things first, I think we're giving it away here. The Commissioner of Baseball, Bud Selig, to hand out the MVP trophy.
Thank you, Jeannie. The Most Valuable Player Award in the historic 2004 World Series goes to Manny Ramirez. Red Sox in an 8-game winning streak. Manny with a 17-game hitting streak through all this. Manny, it was a tremendous performance. I congratulate you, the most valuable player in the 2004 World Series. Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir. Pick up the hardware. So many Boston Red Sox, as we sat up in the press box, so many guys on this team that we could have been handing this hardware to, but a phenomenal season for you, phenomenal postseason. You said unfinished business this season, and you accomplished it.
Exactly, you know, first, you know, it was a lot of negative stuff, you know, I was going to get traded, but, you know, I keep my confidence on myself, and I believe in me, and I did it, you know, I'm just blessed, and, you know, I proved a lot of people wrong, you know, I know I could do this, and thanks God, I did it.
You believe in curses, sir?
I don't believe in curse. I think you make your own destination, and we did it. You know, we believe in each other. We went out there, we played relaxed, and we grinded out, and we did it.
What do you say to the Boston Red Sox fans that have waited 86 years for a championship?
We won Alex, but, you know, now I'm in Boston, and I love you guys. You guys are the best.
All right, it worked out pretty well. We'll let you go celebrate with the team, and we will be coming back, Joe, with the championship trophy in just a few moments.
All right, Jeannie, thank you. So many Red Sox fans are here celebrating, and moments ago, Kevin Kennedy had a chance to visit with tonight's starter and winner. How good has Derek Lowe been? Here's Kevin.
Derek Lowe, can you believe this? First time since 1918, and you become the winning pitcher, perhaps the biggest game in your lifetime.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable feeling. You know, this is a tremendous feat. You know, we were 10 days ago, we were down by, you know, three games, and we were down by 4-3 against the ultimate closer in Rivera, but we found a way. And you know, I think you saw with Anaheim. You know, when a team gets on a roll, especially in postseason, we feed off each other, and unbelievable. You know, no more going to Yankee Stadium and having listened to 1918. Finally,
I said perhaps the biggest game because you had to pitch a big one to get here first and beating the Yankees in that 7th game.
Yeah, I think just, you know, the experience of being for the Red Sox. You know, we've sorry about that. There goes the owner. But you know, pitching in so many big games with this organization, you know, every game gives you more confidence, and today was no different. You know, I got to thank the scouting department and Veritek for having a great game plan.
I know it's a little early, but you pitched the 2 best games of the season in fine fashion. What's the future for you?
I don't know. You know, I'd love to stay in Boston. I've said it long, but you know, Pedro did the same thing last night, and so you know, hope to God we all stay.
All right, congratulations, Derek. Go celebrate. All right, let's go back to you.
Kevin, thank you very much. The streets of Boston, Massachusetts, as they celebrate up in New England. We continue here in St. Louis and send it once again to Jeannie Zelasco.
Yes, an 8-decade curse of Boston baseball, tormented souls, generation after generation after generation, that can rest easy tonight. You've waited a long time for this, so let's not wait any longer. 86 years in the making. The words you wanted to hear from the commissioner, Baseball Bud Selig.
Thank you, Jeannie, and congratulations to Larry Lucchino, John Henry, Tom Werner, Theo Epstein, Terry Francona. This was a historic World Series, and I congratulate Red Sox Nation for their patience and for everything. You got a lot to be happy for. Congratulations to the world champion Boston Red Sox.
Let's get the hardware up here. You waited a very long time for this. Mr. Werner, Mr. Henry, Mr. Lucchino, Mr. Epstein, gentlemen, congratulations. Mr. Henry, I will ask you first. You were raised a Cardinal fan. We obviously know where your allegiances lie now, but how does it feel to be at the helm of the team that finally broke the curse?
Well, last week we all watched the greatest comeback in the history of sports, and this week every fan across the country, across the world, in New England especially, all of our fans have waited all their lives for this night, and it's finally here. These guys did it for you, New England. Tom?
Mr. Werner, yes. What do you say to these fans that have waited a whole lifetime for this moment?
Well, you know, they've yearned for this, and we know people who are 90 years old who have just said, just one championship before I die. And so this is for them. This is for little leaguers and all across New England. But I also want to thank Theo Epstein and Terry Francona. This organization was remarkable, and they were 11-3 in the postseason, so it was just a remarkable run.
All right, they're making off with the trophy, so let's get down to Mr. Lucchino. I get the feeling that this mission started the night Mr. Boone sent one into the night sky. You got rid of a manager, you brought in a stopper, you brought in a closer. Can you talk about this mission and even the trade of maybe the most popular Red Sox since Ted Williams?
Well, the mission started when we first acquired the team. We knew that the measure of success would be winning a World Series championship. Our fans made that clear to us. And I'd like to take a moment just to congratulate the Cardinals. They had a sensational season. Bill DeWitt and the Cardinals.
Here it comes, sir.
Fabulous season. Oh, no.
Yeah, I was trying to warn you. I was trying to help you. You know what? We've waited 86 years for this. 86 years. What's a little bubbly? Theo, before you are too drenched here, could you have imagined this when you were trailing the Yankees 0-3?
No, it was unbelievable. You don't come back from 3-0 against the Yankees for yourself. You do it for the other 24 guys. These guys care so much about each other.
This is what makes it so special. So happy for him.
All right, the questions we all want to know. You got a lot of free agents out here, guys that made a big impact. I know you don't want to hear it. Veritek, Pedro, Lowe. I mean, I could keep going down the list. What are you guys thinking?
That's a question for another day. Right now, I just want to... Way to go, baby.
Kurt Schilling making his way up here. You know,
we'll deal with that later. Right now, I just want to say congratulations to all the Red Sox fans. Thank you for everything. Go celebrate. We'll do it again next year.
All right, congratulations. All right, Joe, back to you.
All right, Jeannie, thank you. The celebration continues in that clubhouse, and they earned every bit of it, outplaying the Cardinals every facet of the game in this World Series. And in the end, it was a shutout win, only a 4-hitter. Pedro last night, Derek Lowe in the bullpen tonight. And a 4-game sweep by the Red Sox. More after the break from St. Louis. Back in St. Louis, we continue with the Bank of America postgame show. Let's go down to Kevin Kennedy with Tony La Russa.
Tony, you've been through this before, but that doesn't make it any easier, does it?
No, we didn't set out in spring training to get to this moment to lose. There's absolutely no consolation. We thought we had a club that would give us a chance to play in October. We won 2 series. To get here and get beat, I don't care if it was 4 in a row or 4 out of 7, and we're bitterly disappointed. Congratulate the Red Sox. They outplayed us. Won a great competition, but no, we were not happy to get here.
I know how well you and your coaching staff prepare your players for success. Is there any way to prepare for the momentum the Red Sox carried into this series?
We knew they had that going, but we thought we did too. And I mean, I don't know. If the club, and I'm speaking honestly, if the club wasn't ready to play or wasn't prepared, then then I take responsibility. But we just everything that had to be done as far as making a pitch and having an at-bat, they did better than we did.
You know, your offense was the #1 in the National League, scored more runs than anybody. Is it just a case as simple as good pitching, stop good hitting, or is there more to it than that tonight?
Yeah, I think you almost have to really, be where you are, where you see the tape. I tried to watch the tape after the games. I think that a lot of key moments when they had to make a pitch, they did, and we didn't have enough to swing it. But I also think that there were times that we got frustrated. We came off pitches and didn't do as much as we could have. So, like I say, overall, I think we went about it the right way. I mean, I told it, sit inside. In all years, I've never enjoyed a club more than this, and I've enjoyed other ones like this, and it's been a great group to be around, but we didn't get here to lose.
In a 7-game series, there's always a turning point or two. Was a turning point perhaps the mistake on the bases last night?
I think, Kevin, there's probably 2 of them. I think we had a chance to steal the first game, and letting that one get away was huge against us. Kept feeding them, we could have maybe slowed them down some. And then yesterday in that ball game, because we were separating every game, I'd like to have taken the lead, and then you don't know what happens. But what ended up happening by not doing it was ugly.
Tony, you've done a great job here. What's the future for you and for this ball club in the next year?
Well, I know these guys, and I mean they need to recuperate all winter long. But I mean they're so strong between the ears that. In a tough division, I think we'll have a great chance again next year.
Thank you so much for your time, Tony. Good luck next year. All right, let's go back to you.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. A live shot of Boston as they celebrate in the streets. Lansdowne and Ipswich. We go down to Jeannie Zelasco.
Well, as always, there are 2 sides to every story. Terry Francona on the winning side of things. Sir, congratulations.
Thanks, Jeannie. Thanks so much.
We talk so much about your bench, the hair, just, you name it. They're idiots. Cowboy up. So many things when you think about this club. What was the difference in this clubhouse?
You know what? As unique as everybody was, they came together as a ball club. Nobody did anything to be different. They all did it as a ball club. And you can ask me a million questions, but when you just saw that picture of those people going crazy, that says it's a lot better than I could.
All right, you said nobody did anything to be different, but there's a guy over there on your left shoulder. Hello, the ankle looked good getting up here. You got it, sir. Congratulations. You win a world championship, I guess the pain doesn't hurt so bad.
No.
You doing okay?
No matter how, I'm doing great. I'm so proud. I'm so happy. I'm happy for the fans in Boston. I'm happy for Johnny Pesky, for Bill Buckner, for Stanley and Schiraldi and all the great Red Sox players who can now be remembered for the great players that they were. And I'm so proud of being on the greatest team that's ever played in Boston Red Sox history.
What does it feel like to be you? Because you came here saying this is what you wanted to do. You love the history of this game. You were on the team that helped break the curse.
Exactly. I was on the team. I was part of this team. I was part of the team that finally did it. From John Henry and Tom Werner to Theo Epstein to Jousey and Galen, our advanced scouts, to the medical staff, all the way through this organization. This was an absolute organizational effort. They put together a championship club, and we went out and we won a championship.
All right, how different is this from your first world championship?
I don't know. I haven't even. That's too much for me to process right now.
All right, finally, I got to ask you. Everyone wants to know if this had to go to a Game 6, would you have been able to go?
I'm gonna take the 5th on that. I'm gonna go out and drink and enjoy.
Take the 5th. Take 2 or 3 days. You got surgery.
Thank you.
Get to surgery. Joe, back to you.
All right, Jeannie, thank you. And our thanks to the guys for sticking around to talk. Amidst their celebration here in St. Louis, Sweet Caroline. They play it at Fenway Park, and we'll play it for you here from St. Louis. Total joy. Final thoughts in a moment from Busch Stadium as the Red Sox are world champs. We welcome you back to the Bank of America postgame show. It has been 86 years. We've talked about that really from the beginning of the postseason. We did it last year, and we did it again this year, and certainly from the beginning of this World Series. I'm Joe Buck. That's Tim McCarver. And one guy I want to talk about first is Terry Francona and the job that he did managing this group. They like to call themselves idiots, but they're not idiots. This is a group that from 1 to 25 on that roster, Terry Francona used brilliantly to get to this point.
A first-year manager that, just like Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops, he conducted that bullpen with aplomb. He is to be congratulated. And when you think of a guy like Manny Ramirez, what happened to him last winter? He was waived by 29 teams. 29 teams had a chance to sign him. They didn't. They tried to trade him. They didn't. And here he is, the most valuable player in the World Series.
I thought what Curt Schilling said was very poignant, and that is for players like Ted Williams and Carl Yastrzemski and Jim Rice and Bobby Doerr, Carlton Fisk. I mean, the list goes on and on. Great players for the Boston Red Sox, players that the fans in New England loved and cherished, never got the opportunity to taste this World Championship, and these guys are thinking about them right now.
86 years covers an awful lot of players.
So you think about this Boston Red Sox team and where they were 10 days ago. They were down 3-0 to the New York Yankees, and I think it's only fitting that this group, this fun-loving, reckless group, stared history right in the eye, gave it a little wink and said, you want to see us win 4 straight? We'll win 4 straight. And then they won 4 more straight over the Cardinals in this World Series. 8 in a row at the end of the postseason. And while it's been 86 years, the fans in New England can celebrate a World Championship. This Boston Red Sox team earned it. We're going to show you a list of all the names of the people who, over the past couple of weeks, 3 weeks, have been lugging equipment back and forth, a lot of late hours. So many people that work so hard to bring you these games, and we're so proud of each and every one of them. On behalf of Chris Myers and, of course, Tim McCarver, Jeannie Zelasco and Kevin Kennedy, I'm Joe Buck. This could very well be the beginning of a new golden age for the Boston Red Sox.